Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing one of the most intense developments in the Russia-Ukraine war, with reports claiming that Russia has deployed almost every available weapon in its arsenal, unleashing a wave of destruction across multiple regions, with Dnipropetrovsk bearing some of the heaviest damage. The scale of this assault has shocked not only those on the ground but also international observers, as the sheer volume and diversity of weaponry involved marks a dangerous escalation in the conflict. The situation on the ground offers a grim view of what happens when modern military technology is used with maximum force in a populated urban environment, leaving behind a landscape of devastation and human suffering. From the outside, Dnipropetrovsk now appears as a city under siege, with damage visible in almost every direction. Buildings that once formed part of the city's skyline now stand broken, their upper floors exposed to the open air, windows shattered, and facades scarred by fire. Residential areas are riddled with craters from artillery strikes, and roads have been ripped apart by missile impacts, making transportation in and out of the city extremely difficult. Entire industrial districts have been reduced to smoking ruins, with warehouses, factories, and storage facilities destroyed in targeted strikes. Fires continue to burn in some areas days after the attacks, fed by damaged gas lines and flammable debris. The exterior view of the city tells a story of both precision and indiscriminate attacks, with evidence suggesting that both military and civilian structures have been hit. Inside the city, life has been reduced to survival mode. Apartments and offices are filled with rubble, their walls blackened by smoke, and furniture overturned by the force of explosions. Many residents have been forced to relocate into basements or makeshift underground shelters, carrying only what they could grab before the bombardment began. Some of these spaces are crowded far beyond capacity, with families sleeping side by side on cold concrete floors, relying on battery-powered lights or candles for illumination. In public buildings turned into shelters, corridors are lined with mattresses, and food is distributed sparingly from donated supplies. The once lively interiors of cafes, schools, and shops are now silent, stripped of their normal functions and serving instead as protection from the chaos above. The performance of Russia's military campaign in this assault has been notable for its intensity and coordination. Multiple weapon systems have been deployed in rapid succession, with air, land, and sea-based platforms contributing to the strikes. Hypersonic missiles, known for their extreme speed and difficulty to intercept, have been launched alongside cruise missiles designed for precise, long-range targeting. Artillery batteries have maintained a steady rhythm of shelling, while drone swarms have been used to both scout targets and deliver explosives. The operation demonstrates a capacity to maintain pressure on multiple fronts simultaneously, with weapon systems complementing each other in ways that complicate defensive responses. However, while this performance may appear effective in a military sense, the humanitarian impact is catastrophic, with thousands of civilians displaced and basic services collapsing under the strain. In terms of safety measures, Ukraine has relied on its layered air defense network to intercept incoming threats, but the volume and variety of attacks have made complete protection impossible. Advanced systems like the NASAMS and IRIS-T have shot down a number of missiles, while older Soviet-era defenses have added another layer of coverage. Still, many projectiles have slipped through, striking residential neighborhoods and critical infrastructure. Early warning systems and mobile alerts have helped save lives by giving residents a few minutes to seek shelter, but even these are not foolproof when hypersonic missiles can cover hundreds of kilometers in minutes. Underground shelters and reinforced basements remain the most reliable form of safety, though access to these is not universal, leaving some residents dangerously exposed. The unique aspect of this escalation lies in Russia's apparent willingness to commit a vast portion of its military inventory at once, rather than holding back certain weapon systems for future contingencies. This all-out approach sends a clear message to Ukraine and its allies, signaling that Russia is prepared to exhaust resources if it believes it will achieve a decisive result. The combination of traditional artillery, modern drones, hypersonic technology, and even thermobaric weapons has created a destructive synergy unlike anything seen in earlier phases of the war. Such diversity in weapon use not only overwhelms defenses but also maximizes psychological pressure on both the military and civilian population. The price of such an operation is enormous, both in direct costs and in strategic consequences. Each hypersonic missile represents millions of dollars in expenditure, and the sustained use of drones and artillery shells requires a constant flow of resources. The logistical challenge of supplying ammunition, maintaining equipment, and rotating personnel for such an operation is significant. On the political side, Russia risks deepening its international isolation, as large-scale attacks on cities generate global condemnation and strengthen calls for increased military aid to Ukraine. For Ukraine, the cost is paid in destroyed infrastructure, lost economic productivity, and most tragically, in human lives. Rebuilding will require not just financial investment but also years of work to restore housing, utilities, and public services. In conclusion, the reported destruction of Dnipropetrovsk highlights the devastating capability of modern warfare when applied without restraint. While Russia's deployment of its full arsenal may aim to demonstrate dominance and break the resolve of its opponent, it also underscores the immense human and material cost of such actions. For the people of Dnipropetrovsk, survival now takes precedence over everything else, and the city's future depends heavily on both the resilience of its residents and the support it receives from Ukraine's allies. The destruction may be immediate and overwhelming, but history shows that cities can rise again, even from the deepest ruins, if the will to rebuild remains strong. This escalation, however, serves as a grim reminder that in the modern era, the tools of war have evolved far beyond simple battles, and the consequences for those caught in the middle are more severe than ever before.